Hi, sir. You're audible.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
So,
Could you please increase your volume, sir?
should I increase it? This is
Now this is proper, sir.
probably I have to come little front. That's it.
Please start, sir.
Yeah. Hi, morning, everyone. Happy Sunday morning to each one of you. Very happy to see you all after your probably a hectic week. Probably you're there on a Sunday for a relax session that's going on, right? So first of all, I need each one of you to and just pulling yourself up. End of a session. Actually, this is a more interactive session that would have been more beautiful, but due to the current scenarios in terms of the COVID and all that, so we all got used to this kind of scenarios. So probably, I mean to say, you guys have not got used to these sessions and all that. And I am here talking to you on a very phenomenal topic, a very simple topic. Let me tell you one thing very clear, that I don't say that I'm going to tell you something which is rocket science and which you don't know. But probably you know it, but we need to realize it. That is the basic understanding that I come from. So that is the basic context. And this webinar is part of the 100 webinars thing as HIE, part of HIE that we are doing. And what next? That's the basic topic of here. So to take it forward, can I see some of your, anybody who can just, probably I think your interactions and all things can be done on in of your chat. You can share it on the chat. And a couple of ground rules. You have any kind of a query. So all those queries, we would like to address it. We would like to address it whatever manner of time that you would like to have. Probably preferably it would be at the end of the session. You would be having a timeline where you can ask yourself. Second thing is we will be sharing. You can share your thoughts on that. That more should be benefited. That's a basic understanding. And at least a couple of them, if they are able to take it to the next level by this, the purpose of this meeting would be shared, would be served, to be more precise. What is the learning that you would get by the end of this session is probably you and I can understand, you would be able to chalk out yourself a better path for you to be more successful. Because most of the times what happens is everybody is at some kind of a crossroad in their life, in terms of education, be it in terms of their job, be it in terms of their other career aspects, or probably life, probably age, or probably some other thing, or probably a business, any activity that you do. Most of us would find ourselves at some kind of a crossroad at some point in time, or most of the times. So how do we handle it ourselves? We'll have options as it is either this way, that way, or another way. Most of the time, what does that WI and W stand for is with information and with no information. So with information, if you just see, we'll be able to win. With no information, we would be going somewhere, but that meant that destination that you would aspire to get on, right? So At HIE, we are basically empowering engineers. It started off with a kind of a basic to train and skill the electrical engineers, and it has evolved to various segments. So now that all the engineers whosoever is getting passed out or who are willing to get skills, that is where we are training them to help them at least in one cross junction at one junction of their life. That is probably when they are looking for a new job, probably a different career. We will be playing a decent role to help it shape it. So that's the basic topic on that. So one sec. What do we need to do? Things before proceed. Would suggest that each one of you take a sheet of paper, 1 or 2 papers. You can make a note of whatever thing that might go on into your mind, which you might fulfill you, or probably you might have asked something. Okay, because entire discussion here is you. It is based, so you might be a student of any discipline, probably any of the trade. Be entrepreneur or if I can just say that some of the principles of just enumerate, these are few of the things on that. Before going for anything of the successful principles, we'll also touch base every principle. We need to understand that in life, a lot of us would be having some kind of an expectation, right? Expectations are the key, right? Expectations are it's something like your destiny will bring you life. That's what I just mentioned it out, that there'll be a right person and he or she. But the reality is you come across a person through coincidence. Whether they are the same ones, you just need to, you will keep checking on, right? So those kind of things are the thing that we just need to, just give me a second. Yeah, is everything okay or any issue?
Okay,
yeah.
Voice
Voice
is breaking.
is breaking. Okay. Sorry. So one second.
Sir, you're audible now, and it perfectly sounds well.
Fine.
You don't need to worry.
Okay. Just in case there is anything, just kindly message so that I'll just right. So in life, all of us would be having certain kind of an expectation, right? Expectations is, let me just put a cartoon there where somebody feels that, okay, I'll get into job and I'll start getting one kind of a role that I need to do, and I'll make a lot of money. But what is the reality? Once somebody enters a job, they are expected, or they end up doing multiple tasks. So that's how reality is. So let us understand. Basically, when we keep talking to some of the candidates when they are going for their interviews and all, when they go to a company, they have an expectation that the company should give me this kind of benefits and all that. But company also has some expectations. So how I just mentioned anytime is expectations. Our expectations and this company's expectation, when they match, that's where somebody gets up into one kind of a job. Or even in life, whatever I expect, suppose I expect to do something, but the reality of the situation might not help me immediately get onto that, but at least I can get into some extent. So whenever we put a plan, it looks like it's on a straight line, and we feel that we are regularly working on it and doing it very perfect, right? But the reality is we keep digressing ourselves. That requires a very phenomenal focus on us and ourselves and how we are able to handle ourselves. Because how will that thing happen? That focus and this thing can happen more appropriately when, if you just remember in the first slide which I was just talking, take a sheet of paper and write yourself what you need. That's the first thing. So our expectation, whatever is that you want, we just need to understand here one very phenomenal, important difference between needs and wants. What is the difference between a need and a want? I'll give you a small example. It's a small analogy. I want a fresh air is my want. That is, in a city like whatever place you are, or in place, suppose we are from Hyderabad. So in Hyderabad, suppose I want a fresh air, I have to go towards the outskirts to get a fresh air. That is what I want. But suppose somebody is as a patient in some place, he needs oxygen. So basically a need and a want is something which is very different. Or if you just take it another way, I need food and I want a biryani. So a need and a want is something which we need to understand. And as long as your expectation is in the want side, you will take little more time to get it. The moment whatever is your expectation is what you need, that is where your plan and entire your energy and your resources you would be utilizing for your own self. So this simple difference between a need and a want is what we need to chalk down. What today might be your want can be tomorrow's your need. I want to earn that kind of a position, or I want to earn that kind of a salary. I want to earn, and probably after your marriage and all, probably it becomes a need. You're getting my point? So you just need to first, unless you write it down, you will not know this subtle difference between a need and a want. So that is one important thing. And when it comes to, once you're making your needs and wants clearly understandable, or at least once you write it, that is where you need to start taking your own responsibility. Because sometimes, most of the time, what we come to know or come to see and observe is everybody would like to put whatever is in the situation that they are current in on the because of that situation, or because somebody has done that, or somebody has told something, you are in this kind of a situation. No, we need to take care of our own responsibilities. We need to take the charge of it. That's what it is called. And we don't need to put up any kind of an excuse, because all the things that you do is basically would only account for an excuse. Rather, let us take up our own responsibility. So once we take up a responsibility is where we will be able to work on our wants to convert them into needs, or probably our needs much better, right? And there is always something that we need to be grateful for, because we need to have an attitude of gratitude. It's called, as you can see, is always thank the other person. You don't sometimes, because most of the times we come across people who say that my family situation is like this, that is the reason I'm like this. Don't complain it. Just pay gratitude towards it and tell it that thanks God that I'm into this situation. I'm looking for bettering my situation. Then somebody will be happy. You can again take your small example. Suppose that in your house itself, there might be a small kid. Once you take a chocolate and give it to him, if he says, you have brought me only one chocolate, you are who, and it makes a hue and cry of it. Next time you might take a chocolate for him, or you may not. But if suppose the same kid tells you, hey, thank you for the chocolate, you made me very happy, that's very thankful and all. Next time you go to your place, or go to that kid's place, or he comes to you, you find out a method to where you can give him something more, because even God does the same thing. If you start complaining to him that I don't have this, I don't have that and all that, he might also keep yourself, he's always cribbling. Let me put him aside for some time. Because a lot of cribbling happens everywhere. So he also puts you at a different place. Rather, if you thank him with an attitude of gratitude, telling that, thank you, thank you, thank you, probably he might feel that, hey, this guy is thanking me even for this. Let me give him much more better. It's practically proven. You can just check with your own experiences. I don't need to tell you. And once we are started working on whatever we have written down, it is basically whatever you have written down is the thing that helps you identify yourself and helps you keep working on it. But again, what happens is once you're writing and working on it, you will surely come across a lot of challenges. And challenges are the ones which will help you to go and raise upon it. So you will be more, suppose you want to do something. I want to do this, but somebody else might throw their opinion. Who is an opinion giver? An opinion giver, as you can see on my slide, it is basically an advice which everybody gives on their needs. What I need, suppose I give an advice, it is what I need, it would be, rather than what you need. You just understand here, it is again the needs that matter a lot. If I were to give an advice to you, that's how it is. If somebody is giving you an advice, they would need you to do that. Okay, so just don't worry about you can take their suggestions. We are not saying no. And today we have one wonderful phenomenon tool for a lot of us to take, because yesterday also I was just talking to one guy. He said he has made a decision based on the Google review. How is Google going to help me and you to decide upon whatever we are doing and what do we want to do, to be more precise? It should be a methodology to help us understand a lot of other opinions and views, right? And understand that and start taking charge of our own thing. We need to take responsibility, as we have discussed. So once you take up your responsibility on yourself, you would never end up into some kind of, you own up, no? So once you're owning up, that is where it makes a lot of difference. You would be, okay, you will start gaining confidence. Then you will know, okay, what do I need to do further? If you're taking the opinions of others, if we are taking the opinions of somebody and always working on something, we don't know what to do the next. Every time we will be at the juncture where somebody else also needs to tell us how to go about further. Rather, if we are writing it down, we are understanding it exactly, and we are very clear about what we want. Yes, we can take an opinion of others, but it should not be the influential thing for you to decide. You can write down, enumerate all the opinions of whosoever is giving it, because that is a kind of a learning that we need to know. So your continuous learning happens through various modes, right? You need to find out wherever. So never stop you in learning, because once you start learning, that's what we keep telling the students here as well as other places. And we also continuously work on it, that unless we keep learning, we are not growing first. That's why there's a lot of books which are written, as long as you're green, you're growing. And even a tree, if it is not green, it is gone. It is used for a firewood, right? So let us not stop learning. We need to keep developing ourselves. We appreciate there are a couple of candidates who have registered with us from various locations across India, and they are all keen, because not many people do impart this kind of an education of the trainings that we impart here. So they say that, sir, I'm already working, but I need to work upon it. So our technical team always puts in all the effort to see that they are given the right information. So we need to put our mind always in the kind of options to understand, okay, where do I get the right information? Because this is what I want. These are the options that are available. How do I enumerate it? How do I work on it? And start working on it slowly. So that is a kind of a learning is what we need to do. Now, let us say, suppose you are from a trade of mechanical, and you just mechanical engineering to be more precise. If you're into that, and then you would like to kind of do some kind of a understanding about what kind of jobs that you would get. So how do you decide and do it? One, you need to ask somebody who is already working in that line instead of asking somebody who is a next door neighbor to you, right? Probably understand, make a note of the people who are successful in that. For that kind of a thing, you can take the Google support of Google, because we will start knowing who are the successful people and all. So tools are there available for us to help us use them in the right way. We can use it the other way also, but we need to know how to use the tools. So that is how we start using our tools, which are available in our proximities or any place, and start working on ourselves. Because always there's a beautiful saying that in life we have got three choices. Somebody is telling something, it is very tough for you to understand. So what you would do? You have an option. You can either give up. What is giving up and giving in? Give up is, I don't know. Okay, I cannot do. Whatever happens, right? So that is kind of a give up. Give in is, I am submitting myself to everything. Okay, it's a kind of, without even giving it a try, whether you will be able to do or not, is a kind of given, right? You can just look at in terms of any sports person also. Nobody gives up or gives in. They fight till the last spirit, last moment, and or give it all you have. Whatever you have, just give it a shot. Because once you give whatever you have, that is where the help also starts. The help for you also starts from different quadrant of your life, which you and I don't know at this point in time. If I do, how will I know whether I'll get help or not? Should I do it or not? If that kind of a thought process is the thing that is there with us, it might be with your job, it might be with your new course, or it might be with new assignment, whatever it is. First, you need to give it up. Give it all, whatever you have got. Never give up. Right? And we also always need to know that because somebody says he has all the resources, he has got all the money, I don't have money, you can keep talking about all that thing. Don't worry into it. There are in the world, there are so many examples that are available. You can just Google it again. For these kind of things, you can please Google it, because there are so many examples which are available who say that they have come out of the odds, they have proven, and they're not set any limits, and they started working on towards it. Okay. So that's basically, we need to know that we need to appreciate, because somebody says, I don't have a proper pen to write. But sometimes we see people who don't have even hand, they write it with their legs and draw also. So it's basically up to how we take it, right? That's why there's this beautiful quote. I liked it. Appreciate what you have before it turns up into what you had. And sometimes we have a time at our disposal. Sometimes we have money at our disposal. Sometimes we have a resource at our disposal. But if we are not able to use it rightly, in the right time, then that resource, time or money, everything will go away. And later, if we start repenting on it, it is called, you would say that, I had that person as a resource, but I could not utilize. I had this talent too. I had my lecturer who was guiding me. I had this person who was helping me. I did not take his help. So let it not be that kind of a thing. So we need to realize it. How does that realization come? It is basically until unless you are clear with your own set of thoughts properly written, it is not clear otherwise. So that, because again, it's when do we learn all these things? It's never late to learn. Okay, because it's never late to learn, but sometimes we learn when it's too late. What is the example of this what I do or I understand is, sometimes what happens is when we are in the schools and colleges and this thing, everybody tells us you need to read daily. Daily, if you read, it is very important, because there's a quote in which says, cinch by cinch, everything is a cinch. Inch by inch, everything is a cinch. Yard by yard, everything is too hard. So if I'm doing my daily works at a single stroke daily, little bit, we'll be able to achieve it. We don't need to work too hard at the long time. So rather than that, yard by yard, suppose I have to always stretch myself every time. I can do it 10 times. I can do it 20 times. But afterwards, I'll say, "Arey yaar, I'm always stretching. No, there's no much result on it." So we tend to get strained and we leave it. So better let us stitch in time saves 9. There's beautiful quotes all over the world, which are there proven. So that is one thing. And when we are doing this, when we are having these kind of choices, that whatever things that we are willing to do, let us see that we do it with highest level of integrity. With whom? First is with yourself. Because if we are doing something which is good and which is going to add value to you, don't you think that we need to have integrity on that? We need to be very genuine on it. Once we are very clear on it, okay, a lot of people will talk so many other things outside. No problem. Don't worry about it. Because opinion givers, as we had discussed earlier, everybody will give opinion. And once you are not taking up their opinion, they will tell that this guy is not taking my opinion. Please integrate all these things with your daily life also. It might be with your education or with your home or with your friends or with your family. All these things, somebody tells you something, you don't do that, then they say that I told you, you are not done. Don't worry. If your things are very clear and you have taken your responsibility, nothing is going to, because that is where you will be with more of confidence of yourself. Okay, so that is one thing. So again, everybody will tell, no, you don't know my thing. I have a lot of past history. I have this. My background is only this. I cannot now do this. Or probably in the past you might have done something. So this beautiful quote is also, which I like, is everybody's got a past, right? And everybody has got their own past. And if we stick on to our past, we cannot go to the future. And to go to the future, we need to have a journey which we need to go through, because life is full of journeys. And if I start looking back and driving my vehicle, I will not go further. I will have to keep looking in the mirror and keep driving. Right? So let go the past. Don't worry. So last time I went to that place, that company person told me that I cannot do this, or that lecturer told me that I cannot do this, or that sir told me that I cannot do this. Don't worry about it. Now what you need to do is, okay, from there, if I'm able to get up and do it, that's it. Because now you see a lot of Olympics are happening, and you find all the athletes, they give everything, whatever they've got. They do a phenomenal thing. They always keep pumping up themselves. They always keep talking to themselves in such a way that in the past, they must have done a very glory record also. But what they have to do is today, whether I'm able to perform or not, is very important. So always let us keep into understanding that let us not keep grubbing about the past. Let us understand, let it go, and keep moving forward. And there are a lot of examples in life, because everybody comes up with every situation every time, right? And when everybody comes up in their own, you know it in your own circumstances. When you just come across that, you just need to understand whether that is going to help you to go forward or going to put you down. And that is possible when we have a very sharp, single point focus, it's called. In my journey from A to B, what we saw earlier, if there are certain distractions which are always reminding me about my past, that is only taking me away from reaching my destination by delaying it. So don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything stop you. Just put your point of focus very clear, keep working on it, and make yourself pumped up every time that, okay, you might have limitations, agreed. Without limitations, there is nothing. Everything has got its own limitations, but still, if you're striving hard towards making it happen, that is where we all can make it. And that these are all the principles. Whatever I'm talking to you is just, these are all the principles that we need to imbibe into our daily routine. This daily routine will help us do a lot of things in a proper way. It might be as a student, or it might be as a phenomenal entrepreneur, or it might be as a businessman, or as a faculty, or whatever you are currently doing. It might be from any field. Rather, again, the principles of success are the same, because that's why they are called principles, right? And it's just like for the core engineering, we have actually started this organization more focused onto the core. It is just like the principles, because core engineering is always very important. So, and when in the core industry, when people are there, I see that a lot of people, when they get into a job, they always tell that, okay, this time I'll have to work for so many years. Then, but in the core industry, we have found out one more thing, which has been understood and what do we call, appreciated by everyone, that patience counts a lot. So once a patience is there, what do you mean by patience? It might be in your job or work or whatever activity that we do. If we have a patience, that doesn't mean it is inaction. It is basically the time where you're taking to grow up yourself internally. Either you get trained, or you get extra skills, or you get the ammunition that is required to succeed. So the best thing is, once a person, if it is patient, you just look at a tiger or a lion when it is hunting deer or something. It is with patience to such an extent that there is no movement at all anywhere. And when the right time comes, it bounces upon. So probably that kind of a skill where people mistake patience as inaction, please don't be worried. Then you will be worried only at a point in time where a lot of people surrounding and neighboring you who tell that this guy is not doing anything, because they are only seeing you that you're not doing anything, but they would not be kind of able to see how you are getting yourself prepared, because you would be putting your foundation, you would be putting your technical or whatever, or knowledge, or you'll be increasing your knowledge base, depth, whatever it is. So that thing is not seen to everyone, don't need to show off also. But once you're working on it, that is where people will mistake it as your silence, you're not doing anything, and they will start creating opinions. And for you to be not affected by those opinions, we need to understand. Again, it comes back to the same first slide. You need to take a paper and write whatever you want. So once you're clear on it with your plan A to plan B, point A to point B plan, that is where your patience can be a strength to you, right? And sometimes what happens is, you might be doing a lot of things, but nothing might be happening. You might be doing great things. So that's why Napoleon Hill has rightly stated this: if you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. So these are small things which impact a lot when we start working on things. Suppose, example, let us take an analogy where a person is working on very hard to do a great innovation, or a great what do we call, great activity, where a project or something which would help create a lot of ripples. But again, that is not happening in the right way as he designed. So still he can keep doing the small things in the right way. So that again, the inch by inch, everything is a cinch kind of a thing comes on. You start doing it, you lay one brick every day, or complete one chapter every day. You start completing your things within the due course of time. It might be as a student, when you look at, okay, probably you need to cover about, say, 10 chapters. In 10 chapters, probably you break down it to a couple of chapters, 1, 2, 3. Okay, these 3 or 4 chapters finished off in such a way that anything is asked from that, you are able to handle it. So irrespective, suppose instead of doing 10 chapters with not conformity on any one chapter, or rather doing 5 chapters with full authority on it. So 5 chapters would obviously give a better percentage also. Even the work, instead of doing 10 things, let us do at least 5 things in such a way that there are gunshot, you don't need to look around. So that is the basic thing. And when these kind of things are to be done, we are expected to learn, we are expected to take up new tools and do something and everything. And for those things, nothing comes for free, because nobody is sitting outside there helping you and me to understand everything with free of cost. No, you need to be willing to pay. That willingness to pay, it could be either in terms of your time, money, effort, or soul, whatever. And we need to understand this very phenomenal thing. What is the price that I'm going to pay to get that prize, P-R-I-Z-E? Now, let us take yesterday's example where Neeraj, who has won the javelin. What is the price that he must have paid? He has paid a phenomenal price. He was kind of a small guy from a different thing, and the lady who had won the weightlifting. So all these people, they have paid enough price that is required. And today the price that they got in terms of their medal, that is the thing. And how do you think that would have happened or precipitated without the effort that was put in? No. So what has happened here, if you just look at, is basically everybody has to put in whatever is required, the effort in the right direction, and be patient enough to till they achieve their desired, that is the paid prize. So that nothing, you need to be willing to put up whatever it is required. Because I think that lady who is a weightlifter, she has done a very good gesture by treating all the lorry drivers who have helped her during her time when she had to go for training. And from their town to the place of training, there was no other method of transportation. And those people have helped her without charging her. So she was already putting on that fight to understand. Otherwise, what would most of us do? Anybody, most of us, what we do? We don't have the facility. I am from this kind of a background. I don't have that resource. We end up giving a lot of excuses. So let us all rise up from today. Let today be the day one. Okay. Let us all put up such a kind of a fight for our own self. It is not for any. We all need to understand what is that I need. Let us make that list very clear. Okay. Because the fact of life is you cannot make everyone happy. If you're making everyone happy, that means you're making a lot of compromises on yourself. And if everyone is happy with you, which is also not possible, right? So that means you are ignoring others' faults. So what does that mean? What does that mean is you are to make yourself first happy first. The fundamental thing. Once you make yourself very happy, what do we need to do to make ourselves happy is taking charge of our own self, not putting excuses, not putting the blame on anybody. Take your own charge and keep working on whatever you want. Put everything that is required. Give it up. Give all, whatever you have. Then we start making it happen, right? Because sometimes what happens is we all have habits, right? And for habits, there's a phenomenal, just take an analogy. Most of the times our parents, or when we were young, they would tell, no, this guy is a shy guy. He doesn't. Whenever some relatives have come to your home or sometime, they always tell, no, this guy, he's a shy guy. He is a shy guy. I will do it. So what your son, or probably you, would always keep thinking that I'm a shy guy. And you have developed a habit without your knowledge, without your what do we call acceptance, that you need to feel shy. And then once you start feeling shy, afterwards of going out, you'll always keep feeling shy. It's a habit. You feel you don't feel that you're doing something different. It is because it has become a part of you. It is your habit. And you cannot change a habit overnight. Most of that habits. That's why old habits die hard is one of the basic things that make it. So that's the reason we say habits can either make you or break you. If you can just see the connotation that has been given, if you write down habit, H-A-B-I-T, you take out H, a bit is still there. H-A-B-I-T, take out H, A-B-I-T is there, right? A bit is still there. You take out A also, bit is still there. Then you take out B also, it is still raised. So what does it mean? You cannot take out a habit from a person. How do you need to do? What do you need to do? You need to dilute it. How do we need to dilute it? We can only dilute it by creating a new habit. Now, for this is, sir, I don't have a habit. मेरे को आदत नहीं है. क्या आदत नहीं है? सुबह उठना आदत नहीं है. नहीं तो काम करना, इतना पढ़ना आदत नहीं है. नहीं तो लिखना आदत नहीं है. Boss, that's all there. I'm not denying. Till today, probably I don't know if you would have written it or not. But once you write, again keep writing, multiple times. After probably a month of time, you will understand that writing is the thing that makes you feel better also. I don't have a habit. No, it's not an excuse. You have to develop that as an habit. Because all the successful people in the world, either they have written it or got it written. Because not everybody is literate, but most of them have got it written also. But until we create a new habit, you cannot replace the old one. That will still be there. So guys, let us not start making an excuse. Just make a new habit from today. That's the reason I told you that let us all start today being the new day. Give it a start, take a paper, write down what is that you want. Just revisiting all the things. If you just revisit, everything will come here. Once you take a paper, you need to write only about yourself. Some of the things is you need to write down what your expectation is, right? How do you want to do it? Take your own responsibility. Opinions are there. Don't worry about it. You need to understand how you need to make a learning of it, right? So doing a new habit always is associated with something called as a fear. What is a fear? It is a fear of failure, fear of rejection. If I go for that interview, whether I will be selected or rejected, what will happen? If they will accept me or they will not accept me. So all these things, the fear will actually put you into kind of a situation where you will go with different directions. Because how does our mind think? Our mind thinks, what is the best way I can avoid some kind of a situation? How will I do that? I take a route which is not, again, once I take a route which is not in the right direction, I am deviating from my point A to point B direction. So that is going to take time. So all these things are interconnected if you just understand it. So your point A to point B, the direction, if it has to be with a proper way, you need to overcome yourself, take charge. You have to overcome your failure. Don't be worried about a failure. Look at the athletes again. Look at the people who have recently participating in Olympics. They have done it. They have again failed, but they have again done it. Rise up again. So because that is the reason fear has got two meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Whatever it is, it's your choice. It is how we look at it makes the difference. Right? So running towards another direction, you end up in another direction. It's probably a undesired location, it's called, right? So guys, let us understand, people who don't know how to handle fear or failure, the ones who are who get into the hands of depression. Okay. And the depression, we recently had probably a couple of years ago, we had a very phenomenal, successful businessman who didn't know how to handle failure. And he has ended up his own life. that should not be the way. We need to know how to rise up, how need to get up and keep running and keep moving on, right? So let us understand that. Okay, so it is not necessary that only as a student you will be having fear. No, the other person, because I always tell this thing to some of my friends and colleagues here, that the other side, whenever you're going and talking to somebody, the first thing that comes to the mind is a fear. What if he rejects, or what if he doesn't listen, or what if he says no? That is what he's going to tell you maximum, right? Maximum, that is what he's going to tell us. Nothing more than that. So why worry about it? So that fear has to go. Then failure will happen only when you have the right knowledge. And when you have the right knowledge, again, I can have knowledge of different kinds again. Anything, if I don't get it with the proper integrity and which is not on truth basis, I will always start fearing. And I'll have to always keep remembering that what I told to this guy, what I told to that guy. But rather, if I'm telling the truth, which is totally on my side, then I don't have to have a fear. That is what is the basic understanding. So guys, let us all rise up to that kind of thing. Because no one will believe in you unless you do, right? You might start your journey, but no, I don't think I want to do it. I won't do, or I can't do. I want to do it, but how to do it? See, these are all the kind of stages that our mind keeps running for anything and everything that we do, right? So unless we decide that I will do it or I can do it, till then, it is all these stages. Either you are up and down, you're running that, you're doing more exercise on that, right? So unless we decide and start working on it, till then it is always very, very difficult. We have to gear up ourselves. We need to put ourselves in such a way that we are willing to give it 100% or better than whatever the 100% is, to do whatever we can do. Because I'll just take an analogy here. Let us take, hopefully most of you are taken a bus to your place, or a flight or a train or something, right? We all must have taken some kind of a transport to go. Now, let us say that if the pilot or the bus driver or the train driver says, I don't know if I can ride it. Do you think will you board that plane or bus? The chances are no. And in your journey of life, if you want to achieve something, in such a way that you are very keen to make it happen, and by doing so, you would have to have a proper path, and you are your own pilot. If in your mind you have a kind of a thing that, oh, whether I can do it or not, it's like a pilot who's saying, I don't know whether I can fly or not in this weather. So we cannot put everybody else at risk. So we need to take our own responsibility. Just take your own responsibility, guys. The best thing that we can do to ourselves is we need to keep believing in ourselves. Lot of people will keep telling us what we can do or what we cannot do, or how should we do. But you and I would do it only when we feel like doing it, or when we decide to do it. Till then, it is basically we would be like jumping around with all kind of excuses, all kinds of yes or no or kind of situations, right? Because see, in life, there is nothing like a failure unless you give up. We need to have a childlike kind of an attitude. It's called childlike mentality, not childish. It is all minded. It is not childish. It is childlike. Now, suppose we go for a try. We go give it a shot on something. It might be for a new job, or it might be for a new course, or it might be for a new assignment or a new project, or probably a new cooking for some girls, right? You might even do something. You might fail miserably. Don't worry. Next time you do, you might do it better. And a childlike mentality is nothing but they wouldn't stop. Probably otherwise we all wouldn't have learned how to walk, to be more precise. I don't have to take anybody's example. Let us take our own examples, right? We wouldn't have learned how to walk if our parents would have told, no, beta, ye gir jayega. He is going to fall off. We would not have even learned how to crawl or walk or then do anything. We would have given up. And giving up is nothing but that kind of a thing. So any kind of hand holding, sometimes what happens is always weakens you up. Too much of a hand holding rather. So hand holding to a certain extent is required. We have to just show him that, okay, my finger is here. The child starts getting up. The hope that can help him get up and stand and keep walking or keep crawling or keep walking. That is the hope that, okay, we have to create it. Right? Because all the great things in the life that we are going to do or that you would be achieving in the due course of time is basically a thing that we all need to do. And there will be certain kind of a sacrifice. Yes. And that sacrifice would be worth giving. What is a sacrifice? How do we define it again? Sacrifice doesn't mean giving up everything. No. Sacrifice is, suppose you are studying for your exam or you're preparing for an interview or you're preparing for something in such a way that, and you don't get a proper sleep, or probably you have to walk for a couple of kilometers of the distance, or probably you have to give up your sleep or food meal because you don't have time. Whatever it is, the small sacrifices count a lot. It should not be like, oh, it is 1 o'clock, I have to have my lunch. It is 8 o'clock, I have to have my breakfast. Then only I will go for my interview, or then only I will study. Then only I will do something. No, that doesn't work out. Right? These small things also can be counted as a sacrifice. You sacrifice your meal for your own benefit because you will be able to reach on time to some location. Right? And once you get into the habit of doing these kind of things, this small sacrifice, then something worthwhile in your life, if it is required, it requires some kind of real worthwhile sacrifice also. And that is a thing that makes you make it happen. So guys, I think we can all make it happen, right? So let's do this, guys, because when it comes to from HIE perspective, whenever we look at a lot of people from the core industry. And in the core industry, as per some of the results also, which surveys, which say that 97% of graduating engineers, they end up into software or core, whatever it is, but 7% of them are into the core engineering tasks, and only 7% can handle it. Since this is a study, it is not our observation. That means what? 7% can handle core engineering tasks. It's not everybody's this thing. Everybody cannot do a core engineering. I appreciate all the core engineers who are part of this session, who can call themselves as core engineers, sticking on to the core segment. By the way, why is it called core? Is because anything, the Earth's core means the most thing that can make it happen. Today, this building can rise and stand up here because of the core of the Earth is good. Right? Or probably today you might be able to do, the core is the one which gives birth to any other thing or enormous possibilities. So that is the reason it is called as a core. Even if you look at the atomic structure, the core has got the nucleus. So you guys are the ones who are the driving force. And particularly with India as an industrially developing nation and advancing nation, the core industry has a very phenomenal role to play. And don't compare yourself with something which is more rosy. All the times, whatever is rosy is not very fine also. The grass always looks greener on the other side, it's called. And here at HIE, we have phenomenal examples who have been working associated with the core industry, have been able to achieve a lot of success and have traveled a lot of distance. Because we have been in this industry as more than about a decade and above, right? More than 11 years we are in this. And a lot of people, almost about 5,000 to 6,000 people have been trained and they have achieved phenomenal success. There are a lot of testimonials, and we are not interested to showcase our testimonials at this point in time, but rather we are willing to see your testimonial for yourself. Okay. HAE has got its own courses we designed for the electrical, as well as now the mechanical has also taken a part. And we would be already planned to start civil also, which would be from somewhere in the next couple of months from down the road, right? For the students who are there part of this session, because my team would have already shared you the feedback link. If you can just express your interest and see how you can be successful. Again, let us understand where we came from. Let us not think about somebody, and let us not look at base our decision based on somebody else's input, which is not very, because everybody will have their own recipe made properly with a different way. The purpose that I take this recipe example is, everybody in their home makes a curry, which might be a very common thing in everybody's house, right? But everybody's taste is different. The reason could be anything. How they understand it, how they do it, how they are tasting it, everybody differs. So let their thing not be a ruling thing for you. You just take your own decision, your conscious decision after writing yourself about what you need to do, how you need to do, how it would benefit you. You can just register yourself for the program, get skilled and get trained. That's what we tell, right? So we at HAE welcome all the eligible engineers who would like to establish themselves and join the path of their success, and basically your success. And because we are on our path of success journey, and we are here to welcome you onto that. Okay, so we wish you, each one of you, to come join us. We are here. We have supported so many people, so we are confident that we'll be able to do our task pretty efficiently, and we would love to do it and hear it from you also, right? So if you can just make yourself very clear, what is that you need this point in time. Again, I'll just take you to the first stage, first slip. Take your sheet, write down exactly what you want, what you need. You need to write it. There is no other solution to it. Suppose I am talking to any kind of a professor or a chairman or an HOD, I would just tell them what is that they need to have their institute or organization get into in due course of time. If I'm talking to a business entrepreneur or a business guy, I would just want him to make a note how he would like to see himself in the next. The purpose of doing that is, unless we have a clarity, we will not be able to write. And once we don't write it, we are going to end up into a different path of this thing, which might feel that we are going, but we'll always keep complaining about the excuses. So this is a basic thing that I just would like to share. I have my colleague Bhavya and Mr. Madan also on the line. Anybody has got queries, they can just start shooting up their things. But I guess because I could not interact in person with somebody right away, but I would love to do. No issue on that. We are here to support you guys with whatever you need. Yeah, anybody has got any queries, or Bhavya, or how do we take it further?
Hi, sir. I mean, like, generally students post their queries in the chat box. So guys, we are open for your queries. You can post any question regarding any of your career consideration.
Can we play a video, Bhavya, by the way?
Yes, sir, you can if you want to.
There is a beautiful song.
Okay.
From Believers.
Sure. You would like to share the screen, sir? If you want to share the screen and the video, you have to enable your computer sound also to share it.
Okay, then I don't know that.
No, you can even play it in mobile, sir. No problem if they want to listen it.
It is there on the thing.
You have a question from Naresh, sir. Sir, if I select any of the placement, how much will I get minimum package? Hi, Naresh. Basically, if you're electrical or any of the core sectors, the package that any industry offers in terms of core is only the consideration with respect to 15,000 to 20,000 as the minimum pay that we get it. There are companies who are even offering 12K for first 3 months to look at your performance, and then they give you hike based upon your performance. I hope I answered your query, Naresh. Ravi Prakash Valluru has a question. Job skills, which job or which industry? Sriram sir, would you like to answer this query?
Which industry? Yeah. Which trade? Can I ask you? Ravi Prasad?
Ravi Prakash, you can unmute and speak up. He's electrical.
You're from electrical. Okay. See, this with electrical per se, we have a phenomenal experience of more than 11 years, as I was mentioning. And jobs, there are a lot of core industries which we are in connect with. And the industry will be a core industry that, as we are just mentioning. And the skill set that you would learn here is basically that will help you to handle yourself to any kind of task which is related in your job. It could be our designing, or it could be handling our operations management, operations part, or it could be into designing our probably what do we call sizing and selection of the cables, all that stuff with the entire thing and practical knowledge and practical exposure. And probably you can even be a part of the business development team to help them do the techno-commercial evaluation part. Is it okay?
Yes, Ravi Prakash, yes, he said yes. Right. Any more questions, guys? You can even unmute yourself and speak up if you have any queries. So before anybody has a query, maybe let me give a brief introduction like what HIEE is doing. Just a recap of what we are. So HIEE is a training institute who train so far has trained electrical students on industry-oriented training, especially electrical system design in power system criteria. And we train, along with that, we give you placement assistance. Okay, placement assistance in terms of placing you people in a proper company where your skill set has been accepted and where you can work on, and your career would be an upgraded with respect to the knowledge that you are already possessing it. So there's a question, sir. I mean, transmission, generation, distribution, any CAD tools will be taught.
Yes.
As part of our training, yes, obviously we'll be dealing with the power systems. Okay, generation, transmission, and distribution. We also teach you the CAD tools along with various software such as ETAP. We teach E3. Then we teach PVSys Google SketchUp with respect to solar PV plant designing, and also the Revit with respect to MEP design. So we also teach Dialex as a part of curriculum with respect to illumination design also. Right. Our colleague has already put the respective detailed curriculum, what exactly we train on. You can please even visit our website www.hiee.in. You will get the clear information. And we have already given our team member numbers. You can please contact us if you want detailed information regarding the training, Ravi Prasad. Any more questions, guys?
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Rajesh here from KSRM College.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Yes, will you provide placements in other countries or only in our country, sir?
Currently, we are doing it in India. Other countries, of course, we are now exploring because we just started exploring a couple of other countries because we have got, thanks to COVID, we have got a couple of students from across the globe who have enrolled. So in that connection, what we are doing is we are trying to reach out to those country, couple of companies, and then start looking at for a placement for them also.
Right. Adding upon to this point, I'll tell you one more point, Rajesh. Here, there'll be companies who will be taking who are based upon Indian basis, but they'll be working on with this next sector in terms of your criteria. Like first 2 years you'll be working in India, and then from the company you'll be moving to abroad. There are students who have moved in that criteria also. Okay. I hope we answered your question, Rajesh. And then what about EV systems and designing? Yes, we do have EV internships. Okay. And so do you train us from the basic level? Yes, Hansat. We also deal with the very basic level training, considering all respective criteria of students who are present in the class. So we have students who are from fresher level to an even 10-15 year experienced person sitting in the same classroom, and the exposure you get based upon mingling would be very much higher compared to any other organization. Right. Any more questions, guys? Okay, so I could see what about EV learning?
Yes.
Rahul has already mentioned EV learning is part of our internship program, and we are planning, because EV alone is in concept of 3 months training. So we are looking for the uh, respective people who are interested only in the core EV. So instead of taking that as a part, maybe we will give you an internship in EV. Along with that, we'll also give you the detailed training, which could be added as a part of our curriculum, which is already currently present. Okay, so the curriculum whichever you're getting trained here will be suitable for you to work in EV also, because we have opted for the companies who are looking for the students who have got trained additional knowledge on electrical industry oriented training and then getting placed in EV sector also. So we have Ramesh here who wants to ask a question. Yes, Ramesh.
Yeah, Ramesh.
Yeah, I'm a faculty member, madam. Is there any benefit for the faculty members to attend this training? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
I
can
am.
hear you, Mr. Ramesh. You are asking a train the trainer kind of a program which would help you with that kind of thing. Am I right? Mr. Ramesh? Okay, faculty, basically, because what currently we are doing is with respect to helping the students to get into a job. We are actually envisaging a couple of other programs which recently we had some discussions with somebody, that we do some programs even for the faculty, some kind of a workshops, 1 or 2 days workshops for some of the faculties. We are still working on it, sir. We would be able to come back to you on that. You can just please leave your details. We'll reach you back on that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any more questions, guys? Standard safety procedure and guidelines. Yes, Ravi Prasad, we deal with all the respective criteria. Ma'am, can you send the list of industries, ma'am? Naresh, you please visit our website, and you can call on the numbers given in the chat box. Our team will send you the list of the companies that our students have been placed already. Thank you. Yes, any questions, guys? Please give your valuable feedback because it will help us in understanding your how many times you will take to a substation, sir. We'll be taking twice to a substation, let me tell you. Once when we do finish the respective topic of substation design, we'll be taking to the site. And second time when we finish the solar, because every solar utility scale will have a substation there. So again, with respect to the evacuation of your substation DC voltage inverter section, and then from there to the step up to the transmission section would also be taught. So you'll be taken to substation twice to make you people understand a better way. I hope I answered your question, Kiran Sai. Any questions, guys? Right. Will you help get any license for HT? No. Sorry, Ravi Prasad, we don't help you to get any license. Ma'am, will you take to any HVDC substation? Not exactly, because we are not dealing with the complete DC section there, Kiran. So we might not take you to HVDC substations. Any questions, guys? Will you take to any generation plans? Yes, we do take it. Recently, I mean, like before COVID, I would say we have visited Nagarjuna Sagar plant. We have visited Sriram Sagar plant. So we have visited to various generation plants. So we do take it, uh, depending upon the criteria and the permission we get from the generation plants. Right. Any questions, guys? In the is the course same for automation and power system design? No, we have an 1 week training with respect to automation added to the regular content with respect to power system design, Prasad. Basically, how it is like, we are the experts in terms of power system design. So we are adding upon automation as an added value to the content that we are training already. So let me tell you, like, that will help you in understanding the relation between the present system and the automation added to that respective value. So we'll be having a week added in the course consideration as part of the automation. Right. Any more queries, guys? We'll give you an intent, because generally what happens is estimation, costing, business development are another criteria which are and will be given by guest lectures to you, which we'll have it every weekend on Saturdays, so that you'll have people coming around different parts of the country or expert on those would be given you a detailed information regarding estimation and costing, or we'll have even on the testing and commissioning or on the business development sessions, where you'll be given a clear picture like how the sector would be there and what will be the skill set that has to be considered there. Right. Sai Kumar, do you have any question? Nalla Sai Kumar. Okay. Right. Any more questions, guys? Thank you, Ravi Prasad. Maybe because of your queries, many of them have got a clear understanding like what has to be done. Average starting packages in your placements in any company from HIEE. Okay, let me tell you, I'll give you the minimum and maximum package that our students have been placed, Sharath. So if I speak up, then the minimum package that our students have got placed as an intern was 12K. Okay, and as a full-time employee, it is somewhere around 35K for a fresher. Okay, and an experience package would be differed based upon their previous packages also. And we give the assistance to experienced guys only if the ready available vacancies available for the experienced guys. So for experienced people, it's just a part of training considered from HIEE. Right, but actually now we have exams. I don't have to attend the classes. What should I do? Naresh, we have batch starting at August 18th. Maybe we also, if our classroom is a virtual classroom, let me tell you that, and we'll be giving you the recordings of the sessions of the complete 2 months duration, so that you can even.
Do you have any question?
So right. So we were talking about the respective classes consideration, Naresh. So you can even get the recording sessions, or we even have the next batch coming in the October. You can even enroll for it also. If you can't do it for this August batch, you can enroll for the next batch. Thanks, Naresh. I think I have answered your query.
Somebody was speaking in between. Is it anybody?
Yeah, sir, but maybe I don't think they have a question by mistake. Right. Any more questions, guys? If not, August 18th, when will be the next joining date for the new batch? It will be in the October month, and date will be given to you. And all our Instagram, Facebook, and the LinkedIn, along with our WhatsApp numbers, whichever is given in the chat box, will be giving you the batch details concurrently with regular intervals. Please follow us on for our information in detail so that you will get a clear information regarding HIW and our next batches, guys.
Otherwise, what time do you think, Sharath, is convenient for you so that our team can make a note and we'll also get back to you?
Any queries, guys?
No question, ma'am.
Thank you.
At least. What?
Yes. So that's it, I guess, Sriram sir. We have done for the day. Thank you so much, Sriram sir, and thank you guys for your valuable time with us. If you fill your feedback form, you'll be receiving your certificate. Okay. We have already given our links with respect to our social media posts. You can follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, as well as Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Thank you so much. Please give your valuable feedback. If you have any queries, our numbers have been put in the chat box. You can please contact us anytime. We are available, and our website is www.hiw.in. Okay. And we have a batch starting on August 18th. If you want any information regarding the batch details, please do visit, contact us or visit our website. Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
Wish everybody a happy Sunday and have a great time. All the best to each one.
Thank you.